Okay, so this is a tutorial about balancing chemical equations. The whole point of balancing chemical equations has to do with the law of conservation of mass. So mass cannot be created or destroyed. All we do is just change it from one form to another in our chemical reactions. The other thing you need to know before you start balancing is our diatomics, our diatomic elements. Those are hydrogen, nitrogen, fluorine, oxygen, iodine, chlorine, and bromine. So you can remember those with have no fear of ice-cold beverages. H2, N2, F2, O2, I2, Cl2, Br2. So if you see a chemical reaction that says hydrogen gas is part of the reaction, you better use H2. All right, so let's balance this equation. First thing that you have to do is write out the chemicals. So aluminum is aluminum metal, so we write Al, and then it reads copper 2 sulfate. So that copper has a plus 2 charge because of this 2 right here, and sulfate is SO4 2 minus. So when we take into account the 2 charges, they cancel out. We get copper sulfate yields, so this is the arrow, copper, which is now just Cu, plus aluminum sulfate. So aluminum is plus 3, and sulfate is still minus 2. So in order for that to cancel out the charges, you need to have 2 aluminums for every 3 sulfate. So it becomes aluminum with a subscript 2, and then SO4 with a subscript 3. So the subscripts that we write come from making the ionic compounds and balancing out charges. And then the coefficients that we're going to write is how we balance our equation due to the law of conservation of mass. So if you look, we've got 1 aluminum on the reactant side and 2 on the product side. So you need to write a coefficient of 2 in front of the aluminum. Then we check our copper. Copper, there's 1 copper on the reactant side and 1 copper on the product side, so far that's balanced. Then we have 1 sulfate on the reactant side, but over here we've got 3 because of the subscript right here. So you must write a 3 in front of that compound of copper sulfate to balance that out. Well, now that we have this 3, our coppers are no longer balanced. We must go back over here and place a coefficient of 3. All right, balance equation.